Hello students, I am Dr. R. Kavitha, Assistant Professor, Computer Science Department, Dr. MGR Educational and Research Institute. In this video lecture, we are going to see about the Central Processing Unit. The agenda of this video lecture is the definition of the CPU, its types, the components of the CPU, and the functions of each component of a CPU. CPU is a central processing unit. Alternatively, it is also referred to as a processor. A computer's CPU handles all instructions it receives from hardware and software running on the computer. The CPU is often referred to as the brain of a computer. It constitutes the physical heart of the entire computer system, and it is also linked to various peripheral equipment including input-output devices and auxiliary storage units. In modern computers, the CPU is contained on an integrated circuit chip called a microprocessor. Let us see the types of CPU. The major types of CPU are classified as single core, dual core, quad core, hexa-core, octa-core and deca-core processor. Single core is the oldest type of CPU which is available and employed in most of the personal and official computers. The single core CPU can execute only one command at a time, and it's not efficient in multitasking. The performance of a single core CPU is based on its clock speed by measuring its power. Dual core CPU is the one that comprises of two strong cores and functions like a dual CPU. The dual-core CPU manages the multitasking effectively. To utilize the dual-core CPU effectively, the running programs and operating system should have a unique code called simultaneously multi-threading technology embedded in it. Dual-core CPU is more faster than a single-core CPU. The quad-core CPU is a refined model of a multiple-core CPU features and designed with 4 cores on a single CPU. This type of CPU are used in a people who need to execute multiple different programs at the same time. Hexa-core processor is the one that consists of 6 cores and can execute the task which works rapidly than the quad-core and the dual-core processor. Nowadays, smartphones are available with hexa-core processor. Octa-core processors are developed with 8 independent cores to execute an effective task that is efficient and even acts rapidly than quad-core processor. Deca-core is available with 10 independent systems that are deployed to execute and manage the task that is successful than other processors that are deployed until now. Most gadgets in the market are updated with new processor to give more useful purpose to the people. Let us see the components of a CPU. The major components of the CPU are memory unit, control unit, arithmetic and logic unit. The memory unit is responsible for storing the instruction, data and intermediate result. It also responsible for supplying the information to other units of a computer when needed. The control unit controls the operation of all parts of a computer, but it does not carry out any data processing operations. The arithmetic logical unit consists of 2 sections. One is arithmetic, another one is the logical section. The function of arithmetic section is to perform arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. All the complex operations are done by making repetitive use of the above arithmetic operations. The function of the logical unit is to perform the logical operations such as comparing, selecting, matching and merging of data. Thank you students. I hope you understood the basis of a CPU. In our next next video lecture, we will see the input-output devices in detail.